Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.
Welcome to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's Tuesday. I lost my train of thought. June the 3rd, 2025. How's everybody doing out there? Good? That's good. Now, before I get to the offseason of the Knicks and the Timberwolves, and plus the NBA Finals preview, I want to talk about softball real quick. Oklahoma's magical run was over last night by Texas Tech. Came down to the last at bat. The final out came by Texas Tech. So I'm not saying that Oklahoma's run in softball is over. They just got beat by a good team and by a great pitcher. And so I'll be looking forward to watching this whole entire softball series later this week and give you all more updates about it as time goes on. Now, let's talk about the NBA offseason. So the Timberwolves lose. Again, let me say this disclaimer. I'm not Bobby Marks. I'm not like all these guys are, talking about money issues. I'm just giving you my predictions of what's going to happen, what they need to do in the offseason, and my predictions to improve so that next season could be an ultimate success. So let's start with the Timberwolves. As I pull up their roster here, the Timberwolves went 49-33 during the season. They got liberated in the game 5 by 30 points. This game was over in the first half. You would think that the Thunder will come out, take care of business, close them out early, and not even look back. And that's what the Thunder did. Now, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowe, they take over this team. Okay. So Glenn Taylor's giving the ownership to Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowe. I'm not a big A-Rod fan. I think he cheats the game, and I honestly think he should. I think he shouldn't be screwing this up. If you're gonna own something, do not cheat your way to the top. Okay. The Timberwolves are not in championship contention right now. You take 10 steps back. 10 steps back of, you got beat by an OKC team. We don't even know about the Houston Rockets, and we definitely don't even know about the Lakers. I mean, next season, the West is going to be loaded. Denver is coming back. The Lakers could be coming back. Houston, the Clippers, the Mavericks possibly. I mean, if you want to throw the Spurs out there, then you can. But this Timberwolves team, this was their time to shine, and they failed. The second straight season they get to the Western Conference Finals, it was just an absolute shit show. And so I'm like, you can't say we're going to be back. I don't know what I don't know what Anthony's saying. I know that, again, the West is loaded. I know that you upgraded your roster by adding DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. I was very upset with Julius Randle. Every time you call his name, he'll give you 20 and 10. He's supposed to give you 20 and 10, not like 7 and 5 or 20 and 5. He's supposed to give you 20 and 10. You would think he'll be the anchor to Rudy Gobert. He'll help him a little bit on the rebounding. And that's what the Timberwolves lacked. They lacked in rebounding. Coming off the Mavericks series last season, they couldn't get it. They couldn't get a defensive rebound. And so you add Julius Randle, you add a playmaker like him. He's supposed to give you those things, and he didn't give you. And he gave you maybe 2 out of 5 games in this series. Like, how can you this is why the Knicks gave up on Julius. The Knicks gave up on Julius because we don't even know what type of Julius is going to be there every single night. Is it going to be the Julius of 2010, or is the Julius going to be in and out like the Knicks days? So Anthony Edwards averaged 25 points a game for the season. He got 8 rebounds and 6 assists. He's got to grow in the court. He's got to grow in the court. And all these people that talk about him being the face of the NBA, we need to shut that conversation down. You're giving players more pressure than it should be of being the face in the NBA. Anthony Edwards has not won a championship yet. Has not gone past the Western Conference Finals. He's been there twice. Hasn't gone past it. I mean, Jason Tatum, even though he didn't win Finals MVP last year, he's got a championship. And you saw how the guy polishes his game. Every season, he needs to improve on something, and he improved it a lot, which is why he's a 25-point scorer per game. When healthy. Other than that, we don't have much. I can't say anything about the face of the NBA because there is nobody. I mean, you can say Jason Tatum, but there's nobody on that throne yet. Jason won a championship. Okay, could it be Ant? Ant has not won anything. So there's no face. I don't know why the conversation came up. You put too much pressure on the players than it should be, and they shouldn't go there at all, period. You can also say Giannis. Giannis has won a championship. Giannis could be changing teams this summer, which I think if the Milwaukee Bucks cannot win this year, well, in future years, then it's time for a change. And so we got to shut that conversation down. That shouldn't be a topic of discussion. But when he's on, he's on. He has reached the superstar status. It's just you got to mature on the court. In the press conferences, after losses, you got to stop always the laughter and all that bull crap. Was all the nonsensical stuff on Instagram and everything else, I don't think anybody cares about that. I saw a post. The reason why I brought up the Instagram stuff because I saw a post from somebody like a month ago, and they were talking about Anthony Edwards' baby daddy drama nonsense, and I said, why? If it's true, if it's true, it's true. You know, Instagram is reporting news. It's true, it's true. But I don't care about that. That's Ant's business, and whoever he's with, that's their business. So I really don't care. I really care about the play on the court. Like if that stuff is affecting you on the court, then I can understand. But it's not, and so I don't care about that. Let Instagram and these people say, oh, well, Anthony's a bad father, he's a bad person, he's this and that. I care about his game. I want Ant to be the best version of himself. He's getting there. But it takes another season to mature. It takes another season to learn from the losses that you endure and the wins and putting the team on your back. Now let's hear from Anthony Edwards, please.
They came ready to play. We didn't. When you lose a game like this, it's not really too much to break down. They just did what they were supposed to do and won the game.
why don't you think you guys came ready to play?
I don't know. They dominated the game from the tip, and can't do nothing but tip my hat to those guys. They came ready, man. So, good job by them.
Okay, so yeah, so you saw the discouragement of Ant Edwards. It is what it is, man. So I just don't know. I think what he needs to work on is the growth. Be a leader. Continue to be a leader on and off the court. We don't want to hear any foolish drama. Like I said, I leave that to Instagram. We don't want to hear of anything else. We just got to make sure that he's good and the Timberwolves can have a safe and fun offseason and while they're making their changes to improve their team. Now, with Julius Randle, Julius, you realize that you haven't won a championship. You realize that. What would it take for you to win a championship? What would it take for you to be that ultimate guy? Because I see you spend more time up top than down low. And I understand the NBA, basketball has changed. There's no standard big man, power forward wise, because the power forward will be on the block as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Julius's game. I just feel like when you spend more time on the outside, you start to miss the shot that you're supposed to make, and so, or you lose your aggression for that matter. And I think in this series he had a couple of games where he was aggressive, but there was games he wasn't, and so I'm like, okay, does he not care anymore? Is something wrong with him? I wouldn't even go that. I just feel like this has to be the new Julius. Your career could be over within seconds if you don't change right now. So, and then Mike Conley. I mean, Mike Conley's been an ultimate professional for 18 years. He's done it all. 18 seasons. He's been in this league. He's played for Memphis. He's played for Utah. He's played for Minnesota. He's done it. He's been in this position before. It's just when he gets to the postseason, you got stars that can't get him there. They say they're going to work hard for Mike, but yeah, it's fine. But at the end of the day, when's it going to happen for Mike? And so I just feel bad because he just does everything right. He leads by example. It's just can we just get over the hump? And so the message for 2025 is be determined and focus on the prize. Again, Denver, the Clippers, the Mavericks possibly, the Lakers possibly, they're coming. And I can add the Spurs in there as well. So this is my show, and I will add the Spurs on there as well. The West is going to be loaded with talent. Everybody's coming back on a mission. You think that 40-year-old man sitting on the couch right now has a mission to succeed. He's studying right now. He's working out right now to get his body healthy to be on the top. I say this because when players say we'll be back, like Ant said, like Donovan Mitchell said, you realize that there's like 14 other teams that are going to say the same thing. 6 of those teams did not make the playoffs. And so you can say we're going to be back, but just remember, it's a grind 82-game season, and it takes determination and focus to get to where you need to go. And the Timberwolves have that, but is it enough? No, but we'll see what happens. But I'll tell A-Rod again. A-Rod, do not screw this up. You cheated the game at baseball, which is why nobody wants to associate with you in baseball. No one, not even the Hall of Fame, wants to touch you. Man, that would piss me off if he screws this up. That would piss me if he screws this up. So, I wish the Timberwolves well. Now we move over to the Knicks. The Knicks, listen, 51-31. You should be proud. You won 51 games in the regular season. You should be. I know it's not enough. I know Stephen A. said you overachieved. I don't think you did. I think you're right there in the middle. So it's just unfortunate that it came down to Game 6. You guys were celebrating in the streets. You're on polls. You're trash talking Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the coach. You're trash talking the Pacers, and the Pacers went on and beat you in 6 games. The Pacers were the more hungrier team. This was their time to shine. Rick Carlisle is a damn good coach. Rick Carlisle can adjust to this NBA's culture. You see, when Rick was here, he was annoyed of Luka. He was annoyed and he wanted to get another championship for Dirk, but Mark Cuban won't allow him to do that. And so when Rick was here, he had enough of Luka. So that's why it was either Luka or Rick in the Mavericks organization. They chose to fire Rick. And now Rick goes to Indiana, and a few struggles seasons here and there. You get to the conference finals. You get to the conference finals against the Celtics last year. And then you get to the NBA finals. You beat the Knicks in 6 games. So Rick Carlisle is a damn good coach. Let's give him his props. Now, everyone's saying, should Tibbs be fired? That's the topic of discussion. No. For me personally, no. Tibbs is a great coach. If people can't understand his philosophy, they shouldn't be in the NBA right now. Tibbs' philosophy is we're going to play 5-on-5 every practice. That's how you get games situations. That's how you execute game situations to the T. You win 51 games, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You should be proud. Most teams don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals with this type of coaching. Do you know the worst organization in the league? Well, there's 2 of them. Actually, there's a bunch of them. The Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards have not made the Eastern Conference Finals, especially the Charlotte Hornets. Like, just imagine if the Knicks were the Charlotte Hornets. Just imagine not going to the playoffs. Just imagine having 2 overrated guys that shouldn't be in the league. Just imagine that. But you have the Knicks that have a great roster in Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. And you're telling me that you want to fire Tibbs because you didn't understand his coach? You didn't get to the NBA Finals. You didn't win a championship. Dude, it's hard. Relax. He got you to where he could have done more. He could have. But there's no other coaches to hire. People were saying Mike Malone. Like, Mike Malone looked comfortable on TV the other day. I don't think he wants another coaching job. Like, there's no other coaches in the league right now. The Phoenix Suns are going through their 5th coach in the last 4 seasons. The Knicks should be happy with Tibbs. They should give him another contract, another try, a chance. You traded Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns. How did that trade work? Karl Anthony Towns, every game is something. Every game is like, okay, I'm going to score 10 points and go 2 for 12. Oh, better yet, I'm going to go for 22 and 25 and 14 rebounds. That was his stat in Game 6. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't know how good he can be one day. It's just the stupidity of the jump shots that he takes that says he has the best game in the world. He doesn't. He doesn't, because it's not consistent. He doesn't know how good he can be, and that's why Minnesota got rid of him. You got to understand why Minnesota got rid of Karl Anthony Towns. Why did they go for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo? Why did Minnesota get rid of him? I'll tell you why. Because Karl Anthony Towns couldn't produce when his number was called. Same with the Knicks. You ask Cat to take the next step, he will not take it. He will tell y'all, fuck you, I'm going to shoot a jump shot. That's what he said to the Knicks. And that's why y'all are sitting at home right now. Because Jalen Brunson doesn't have enough help. Karl Anthony Towns is supposed to be your savior. And Tibbs, I will blame him on this. I'll blame him for changing the lineup to add Mitchell Robinson there. Why do you want to change it? Just to match with the Pacers' philosophy. The Pacers are a running gun team. They know their personnel. You don't have to match it. That's why I tell people, don't match personnel. Don't match it, because it doesn't work. And I was right, and I said on this program, I said the Pacers will win this because the Pacers don't have a star. Pascal Siakam is not a superstar. Tyrese Halliburton is not a superstar yet. He could be. But at the end of the day, the Knicks had a chance. And this could be their only chance. We're not going to say we're coming back next season. The Knicks won't say that. Stephen A. won't say that. Spike Lee won't say that. Angelo will say that. Any Knicks fan will not say we're going to be back next season. Because like I told you, remember, there's 12 other teams, 14 other teams that are going to say the same thing. The Cavaliers could be back. The Pacers. The Celtics will definitely be back. That's it in the East. I'm sorry to bring up Charlotte. That's the worst team in the league in American history. I'm sorry. So maybe there's a chance. Maybe. But it's not. The percentages are not high. And then the clutch player of the year, Jalen Brunson. I don't know what else you could have done. But here's his response as far as, Jalen Brunson, not as far as Tibbs potentially getting fired. So let's play that clip, please. Jalen Brunson clip.
Jalen, when you talk about the confidence, obviously, I feel like nobody takes more criticism than Tom. And this team obviously has turned around during his tenure. Do you kind of feel that going forward he's the same guy to lift you guys the rest of the way at next level?
Is that a real question right now? You just asked me if I believe that if he's the right guy. Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Come on.
So, yeah. That's tough. That's a tough question. Um, you know, I'm not sure why the lineup changed. Like I said, you can't match up. Well, you can't match up with the Pacers. I don't think the. I don't think. I don't. I think I think the Knicks underachieve. I didn't expect them to get to the finals like this. These conference finals like this. I didn't expect them to win 51 games. They had a great regular season. We'll see what happens. I know Stephen A. and Angelo and other Knicks fans are crying right now, and so and so we'll see. But the message for 2025 is keep the same coach, atmosphere, change the offense. There's some things you gotta change, and I know Jay Williams, were on the show on First Take yesterday. Was talking about the generation of the NBA, how players don't understand the old school of coaching. The old school of coaching is you practice 5-on-5, and also you practice consecutive days to make your team better. I feel like the team was tired. I hate to say that because I think the NBA gave you enough rest in between games. But I do think the Knicks were tired. Tired of the philosophy. I don't think he's going to change it. I think he may tweak some things a little bit, maybe add more responsibility to the players. Add more leadership to them. Have like players only meetings when the team is struggling. That's what I will add. That's how you change the things. That's how you change the offense. You got some leaders on the Knicks. Jalen Brunson. You got Mikal Bridges. You got Josh Hart. You got Cat. Now, Cat, you're at the tail of your career. You have to be a leader now. PJ Tucker, if he's going to be on the team next season, we'll see. So I will want more accountability for on the players' part, not Tibbs. I think Tibbs coaching will work anywhere possible. It's just that the new era of the NBA, it's like we don't want to win. It's tough to get. We got to talk about. Oh, we'll be back, going back to the playoffs, even though there's like 14 other teams sitting at home saying the same thing, and pissed off too. Now let's hear from Josh Hart, please. This one gave me chills. So let's play Josh Hart, please.
I think I didn't play how I normally play. I let. There were some games I had 3-4 turnovers and let that cause me to kind of get out my game and be a little more passive and not, because obviously how costly turnovers are. So I don't know, man. I didn't, I failed the team. I didn't bring it how I should have. Especially in this series, and if I played better, it could have been a different situation.
When a player of that caliber says that, I failed the team, that shows me a lot. That shows me a lot, man. It's just we don't get those guys like that anymore. We don't. Guys will say, "Oh, they'll say we lost." And they'll be satisfied with losing. And so, to me, it's just frustration. And I'm glad that Josh took it to the chin and said what he said. And so, we'll see what the response is next season. And, we'll see the responses in the offseason that translates into next season. So now we preview the finals. The Pacers and the Thunder. We did not expect this during the season. Okay? So, here's my takes for this, and I'll give you my prediction. And you will not lose any money ever again. You will listen up. So, the Pacers, I know you don't care. I know this will be a boring finals because the Pacers are Indiana, OKC's in Oklahoma. So no one cares about the middle of the pack teams. The NBA doesn't even care. They want to see the Lakers and the Celtics. They want to see the Knicks. And I'm like, no, we don't want to see that. We want to see great basketball. And this is our great basketball teams. The Thunder, the Pacers. They worked hard to get to this point. We're not trying to steal the spotlight from them by saying, okay, what can the Lakers do well? What can the Knicks do better? What can the Celtics do well? This is their time. So can Halliburton take the next step? Now Tyrese Halliburton had a great, near Knicks series. The Knicks, he balled out. The Knicks couldn't find a way to stop him. Can they lean on Pascal Siakam's experience? Pascal Siakam was his experience was in the 2019 finals was the Raptors. That's the only player that has NBA Finals experience. Do you know that Miles Turner is from this area, and he spent 10 years in the Pacers organization, and this is his first time in the finals? Do you realize that? This man had to grind hard and make changes and adjust to different coaching staffs to get to where he needs to go. He's in the finals for the first time in his career. And so can they lean it? Pascal, play with Kawhi, Kyle Lowry. That was a team back in the day. Nick Nurse, 2019, they beat the Warriors. KD, remember KD went down with an Achilles injury. I don't know if he didn't go down, then I still do think the Raptors would have won. I think it was the Raptors' time at that time, and so that's the only player that has experience. You gotta be mellow in the series, and you gotta be laser focused. Can we give credit to Rick Carlisle? Rick Carlisle is one of the best in the league. Was that a Rick Carlisle-led team? I don't know where the NBA goes from there. Rick adjusts to players' techniques. Tyrese Halliburton having the ball at the top of the key, having Pascal play, rover most of the time, not demanding the ball. The Pacers don't have a star that demands the ball in the fourth quarter. It's just random guys that play, that know each other, that fight for each other every possession. So they don't have a star that needs the ball in the fourth quarter. I mean, maybe Tyrese Halliburton can be, but really, honestly, it could be anybody. Miles Turner could be, Aaron Naismith could be, Brendan Mathurin. I think the Pacers have a deep bench. I told you guys there's like 5 to 10 guys that can come off that bench that can produce. And that's what Rick Carlisle does. I do think in Dallas, it was just too much. You rely heavily on the star power. Now, remember back in 2011, Rick had this same team. Rick pissed me off because with the Spurs, he beat the Spurs. I remember that memory when Dirk went to the basket. He almost dunked it. He made the shot and won. It changed the whole entire series. And the Lakers went on and dominated the Lakers back in 2011. And so I never thought the Mavericks would get to this, will win a championship under Rick Carlisle. But they did. And Rick has that same team mindset back in 2011 to 2025. The difference is you don't have 2 people demanding the ball. You have a bunch of players that can make plays with the ball. Look at TJ. Look at TJ. What's his name? I can't remember his name. TJ. I can't remember his name. But look at Aaron Naismith defending everybody, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be defending Shai Gilgeous throughout the whole entire series. And J-Dub, this whole entire series, so they're going to switch off. They have it all. The Pacers do have it all. Offensively, they're a little challenge. But ball movement, shooting threes, and then getting out in transition kills that. It kills the offensive challenge. They know their offense. Like I said, they know their team. They know their team to a T. So this is why the Pacers could win this series. This is why the Pacers are people are picking and they're not picking the Pacers, but some will. I won't. And like I said, they have 10 to 11 guys on defense that can give you hell. Like I said, I talk about Madron. I talk about Eric Naismith. I talk about Andrew Nembhard. I talk about T.J. Huzmazada. Not T.J. Huzmazada. T.J. McCollum. Yeah, T.J. McCollum. That's his name. I talk about Tony Bradley. I talk about Thomas Bryant. I talk about even Miles Turner. Guys like that come in and produce. Obi Toppin. Guys like that come in and produce that came from other teams. Pascal came from the Raptors, got traded. Tyrese Halliburton came from the Sacramento Kings, got traded, which was very surprising. Thomas Bryant, last season was in Miami. This guy's on a 1-year contract. Tony Bradley got signed during the season. These guys know their stuff. They know their team. They want grit and grind guys, and that's what Rick Carlisle can coach. OKC, Shai Gilgeous is a beast. Even Shai Gilgeous doesn't fit the part, but Shai gets wherever he needs to get. And I'm like, there's no way you can stop this guy, because this guy, when you try to stop him, it's like you can throw 5 to 6 bodies on him, which the Timberwolves tried, but it wasn't enough. It's just he knows where to use the gear at. He knows his defender. He knows what to use. They are loaded defensively. Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Chet, Isaiah Hartenstein, J-Dub, those guys, especially Lou Dort. Lou Dort can play all 5 positions. Stephen A. called him a linebacker playing football, and I agree. I mean, we never seen a body built like that can, play from baseline to baseline, sideline to sideline, guarding everybody to the tee, battling guys down low. Alex Caruso does the same thing. Alex Caruso did that in the Denver Nuggets series. How to battle Jokic. That's what Alex Caruso, Lou Dort do for your team. If you don't have those guys on your team, I don't know. You don't get to the finals. You do not get to the finals if you don't have 2 guys that can grit and grind. And Alex Caruso, Lou Dort do those things for you guys. And they have the youngest roster they have the youngest on their roster at 25 years old. So again, people say the NBA is getting younger. I don't think it is. I just think it's by the team. OKC knows their team. The Pacers know their team. Minnesota, the Knicks, they know their team. I don't think it's getting younger. I just think it was their time to shine. And I think it was their time to get into the season. I think it was their time to get to the finals and make every noise possible to get there. Mark Daigel, he started in the G League. I don't even know this guy. This guy has won a championship, has won a Coach of the Year award. He's the best adjuster in the game. He knows his team. He knows they're off and running. He knows his team is not star power. The only star power, honestly, if you look at it, the only star power on their team is Shai Gilgeous. Everybody else is just role players, but they know their role well. Let's get that right. Chet does not look apart, but Chet gets the job done. And this is why I say to Chet, I think Chet's going to have a long and solid career. like I said, Caruso and J-Dub, especially Lou Dort, can switch defensively on everybody. I know Tyrese Halliburton has never seen a defense like this. You talk about all the switching. You talk about not having one guy hold your hand the whole entire time. That's what the Knicks did. The Knicks didn't have defenders in that series. The OKC Thunder do. So I think it's going to be a little tough for Halliburton to get his shots off. He has to find a different gear to do this. And then who starts off the game right? Who starts off the game right? The Pacers, the Thunder. Whoever wins the first quarter wins that game. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I do think that both fan bases will get their teams going, which is why I'm hesitant to say I was leaning towards the Pacers, but I want to choose OKC in 6. I think it's their time to shine. I think that they have championship aspirations. I think their championship run is beginning right now. And so, to me, I'm choosing OKC in 6. Now, listen to me. You will not lose your house. You will not lose anything you possibly if you listen to me. I got you. Even in the WNBA, I got you. And so, OKC in 6 for me. Now let's talk about a little serious subject. It was Zion Williamson. Zion is crazy. Allegations have came against him of rape, kidnapping, and abuse of a lady. We don't know her name. We just call her Jane Doe. Zion put himself in this situation. I can't blame the ladies. Zion did this. Eventually, something has to happen. With the injuries and the lack of focus, something has to happen to Zion. He's going to be 25 next month. That's your prime years. You've gone to the playoffs maybe once, maybe twice. It doesn't really matter. You have only played in a possible. So if you take percentages, I think he's only played in like at least 35% of the games he's missed. So he's only played in 35%. And it's not good. At 25 years old, you're supposed to be playing more than that. At least 85% of the games. All the times they rave about this guy about being the next LeBron, being this and that, and Zion can't get on the court to save his life. Back injuries, this crap now it's happening. Zion, when are you going to have an offseason of growth? When are you going to have an offseason of accountability, responsibility for your actions? You put yourself in this situation because you don't care about the game of basketball anymore. You keep collecting checks from us, and you're not giving us anything back. So F you, Zion. You have to be accountable for your actions. You have to be focused on the game of basketball. Nobody's going to save you but yourself. People are writing down and saying, we're going to blame Instagram girls. Yeah, you can blame them, but really it's Zion that put himself in that situation. Have you realized that? Have you realized that Zion, that the person that put himself in that position, you could blame the other person, but really is the person that put themselves in that situation. Why is your name in the news other than, okay, Zion has gotten healthy. Okay, Zion has lost 30 pounds. Now he's ready for the season. Zion's healthy. Zion wants to play in the summer league. He's going to do everything he can to get back for this next season. We haven't heard any of those things till now. You're dealing with this crap. So when we're in, and when the Pelicans say enough is enough, I know the Pelicans didn't get the number 1 pick, or else you would have been saying, okay, Zion, we don't need your service anymore. We're going to trade you. We're going to release you. When would that happen? Because he's not doing anything good for your team. What has he done? Games missed, and now you're going to protect him from this situation. Which, again, I don't know. It's not criminal. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I just speak my mind. I just say these guys are not focused on the game of basketball anymore. It is showing. And then number 5, we give a tribute to Inside the NBA and also the Suns coaching search. Now, the Inside the NBA, they've been on for 35 plus years. They're moving to ESPN next season. And so Charles Barkley will say what he wants. He's already said what he's going to say. I don't know how that's going to work because you got NBA Countdown. Then you got Inside the NBA, which is crowded, but I think it's going to work. I think that people at ESPN should give Charles Barkley what he wants, whatever he says, what he wants. I think it's going to be bringing. I think if you want to bring ratings back to ESPN, you got to bring back you got to bring back Charles's personality, and Charles' personality is that's his personality, and so once you bring that back, you're good. And so the Suns are down to 2 candidates on their coaching search. Johnny Bryant, they're both Cavaliers assistants. Johnny Bryant and Jordan Ott. I was reading on Johnny Bryant yesterday. He's 39 years old, almost 40. He's been in the NBA for a while now as an assistant coach. And then, but he played. I can't remember where he played at, but I don't even know the guy. I just read his on an article from him yesterday of what his coaching will be like. Jordan Ott started, went to Michigan State, got a bachelor's, master's. He's been in the Cavaliers program for a while now. We'll see. We'll see where the Suns go from here. That's the only job that is really open right now in the NBA. And Devin Booker, according to them yesterday, has been involved in the process. And I say to the Suns have to make sure that this is a 2 to 3 year hire. You can't just fire a coach after their first season because they couldn't get along. You're trying to win. Mike Boo, out of those coaches that you fire, I think Mike was the best. I think Mike was the best. It's just, you're dealing with 2 superstars. So we'll see where that goes. Now let's talk about a little college football. This is the middle of the pack teams. As the summer looms on, everybody played their spring games. Right now, again, everybody's lifting. We're preparing for the 2025 season, which is coming up. It's fast approaching in 2 months. So we start with A&M. A&M had their season of, 10-3 in their season, 5-3 at SEC. Their key losses were to Auburn and Texas last year. I'm not really upset about the Texas loss. I know that that was a 17-7 game. It was a really boring game because it could have gone one of 2 ways. A&M always has quarterback issues. I think that's what they're missing. A&M can run the football, but their quarterback, Marcel Reese, didn't put up enough stats. I'm expecting him to have a great 2025 season. I do think that his focus has to be there. His focus has to be there on the prize. And so, to me, I think what he can improve on this year is decision making. You don't have somebody hovering over your head. You have to focus on the prize at hand. And so, I look at their schedule here, and I say, okay, UTSA August 30th, and then they got an easy Utah State game. I say easy. Notre Dame, September 13th. And then they got to bye. They start SEC play was Auburn. And then Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas. This is October. LSU. Let me go back. Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, LSU, all in October, which is going to be really tough, because two of those games are home games. And the other two are road games. So we're really going to see what they're made of. Then they got to bye, and then they got Missouri, South Carolina, and then they got easy San Francisco. That's the week before Thanksgiving, and then they got Texas on Thanksgiving on Black Friday. Let's say Black Friday. So I look at that schedule. People say 8-4. I'm going to say 8-4 as well. That Texas game, like I said to y'all last week when I was previewing Texas will win that game because of Arch Manning, throws for 300 yards. Let's say that. A&M doesn't have the best defense in the SEC. They could, but it's not the best. I do think that but the good thing is about that their defense is full of transfers, so they know the system well. It's just, can Mike Elko get over the top? That's the thing. I look at November. One of the key things I look at is South Carolina. Okay, now South Carolina is an up and coming football program. Okay, Shane Beamer is the head coach of that program. It's going to be difficult. I'm looking at that October schedule. I noticed Florida's there. Florida's like a up and down type of team. Are we going to see the good Florida? Are we going to see the bad Florida? We saw like the middle of Florida when they went 6-6, but with A&M, I think 8 wins is good enough. Nobody's picking you to win the SEC. Nobody. I think the SEC is hard. I do think that Texas has it. Georgia has it. If Georgia had an offensive game, then you never know what Georgia's going to take it. A&M, I think their strength is the wide receiver of Concepcion from the transfer from NC State. Possession wide receiver. I do think he has NFL great talent. Can Marcel Reese get the ball out? Again, you don't have those guys behind you to worry about. You are the full-time starter. You got to take this job. I know the first game is tough because the first game is, as I go to the top, UTSA. I mean, maybe it's tough, maybe it's not. Again, UTSA is out of the AAC, so they're going for a full rebuild. But who's there to say that UTSA can come in on August 30th night and beat Texas A&M at their place? So we'll see what happens. And also, there's a little disclaimer here. I know that the SEC wants. Well, I know the SEC fans. I know A&M fans. I know not Alabama fans. Who else runs the field? I know Missouri, Vanderbilt fans. I know these guys want to run the field. Okay, the NCAA just came out, I think it was like a couple of days ago, saying we're going to fine you $500,000. So $500,000 $100,000 to that school for rushing the field. That's the field and the court. So please don't do it. Because remember, there's scholarships involved. And that $500K, we need it for other things inside the program. Not the athletics. Maybe the business needs it. Maybe music needs it. That money is needed. So being stupid like that, we can't. It ruins everybody's pockets. When we see, it's fun. I know the NCAA is taking our fun away by rushing the field, which I don't have a mind with. The only thing that concerns me is when you run the field when the other team's on it. When the other team has lost the game by like 3 or 10 or something like that points, they don't get off the field in time. And that's where fight starts. That's where when like 20 to 50,000 people run on the field when the other team's on it, still trying to get off the field, they're putting themselves at risk. They're running into you. That player gets hurt or somebody says something bad to them, there's a fight ensuing, and that player gets charged over that student. So that's my concern. I don't care about, this money grab. I know the NCAA is trying to clean up their act. I know. But it is what it is. So, and every team's going to try to keep their fans in the stands. And my message to Texas A&M is stay connected and win the SEC. And try to at least. Because you don't have Alabama on your schedule. The only thing is, you definitely don't have Georgia on your schedule. So it should be an SEC schedule where you might squeeze it out if you have the right quarterback play and you don't turn the ball over. That's the thing. Number 2, Notre Dame. They're 2025. Now, Notre Dame surprised a lot of people. Notre Dame went 14-2 and participated in the national championship game against Ohio State. They lost to Ohio State. Marcus Howard. Or, sorry, not Marcus Howard. Where did I get Marcus Howard from? Marcus Freeman, head coach. The NFL has been covering him for a long time. The NFL will still cover him. I told y'all in January, 5 years is needed for Marcus to take the next step. Marcus is not ready for that next step yet. He's getting there, but he's not ready yet. 3 quarterbacks are on your roster. I look at the schedule here. And I also look at that running back, Jeremiah Love. I don't really care about the quarterbacks because their quarterbacks are going to shine. We'll see. We'll get to know more of them in the game against Miami, which is on August 31st. And so we'll get to know more of them soon enough. But other than that, Jeremiah Love, 1,125 yards and 17 touchdowns, 163 carries. Does he get the bulk load of the carries? And then I look at their schedule, and I say Miami first game, Texas A&M the next. I know there's a bye week on September the 6th. Purdue, I don't think the Purdue's going to be that great. Arkansas, wow, that's the SEC school. Boise State, we'll see how Boise State goes without Acid Genty. NC State, that's going to be an interesting one. USC, which is like a month out, because every season they play in November, so they're moving up to a mid-October matchup. They got a bye week, and then they got Boston College, Navy, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, which I think will be better this season, and Stanford. And so I look at these games and I say, Can I say Notre Dame has a semi-difficult schedule? I know we don't know of Miami. We know Texas A&M is going to be a little tough. We know Purdue, but the one game I want to look at is the one in October. I'm not worried about Boston College, nor Navy, USC. Now it depends what Notre Dame's going to bring on the first bye week. The first bye week will explain it all. Can Notre Dame run that table? Can Notre Dame put 2 and 2 together, possession-wise? And so that's going to be a really difficult game for me. I know Syracuse. I know everybody's looking for that. I do think Syracuse is going to be better than this upcoming season. I honestly I could see Syracuse in the college football playoff, but we'll see. But I have Notre Dame at 9-3. I know a lot of people are saying 8 wins, maybe 10 or 11. I don't think this team's is a 10-win team. I think 9 wins. I'm being respectful for that because of their quarterback situation. I do think their quarterbacks are a little shaky to me. Non-transfer in their program. You're asking a redshirt freshman or whoever is going to take over the spot. We'll know more in game action. We'll know more in game action instead of playing against yourselves. And so we'll know more. I think Marcus Freeman will need to focus on every possession. That's what happened in the Ohio State game. I do think that I don't think they had a gear on offense. If they focus on every possession, I do think that Notre Dame wins 9 to 10 games. I'm putting that 9 right now because I'm looking at that matchup against USC. That might be a loss. We'll see. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Number 3, Ohio State, your champions. Ohio State won the 2024 national champs. 14-2. Didn't like their Trump visit anyways, but Jeremiah Smith is your wide receiver. He had 76 receptions for 1,315 yards and 15 touchdowns. He was the quarterback. Junior Song. You don't have Will Howard. Do they beat Michigan this year? Is this their time to beat Michigan this year? We're not sure if they're ready for Michigan because I always circle this on my calendar. Every time Ohio State plays Michigan, I want Ohio State to beat the brakes off Michigan. I have a boss that was a Michigan fan, and I hate it. Former boss. And every time they play Ohio State, I want Ohio State to beat Michigan. Just because I want to rub it in his face. So you got Ohio State has to give me that. You can't score 10 points on your field. 10 points. And then on top of that, cause a scene. I know it's a rivalry. I know you hate them. But come on, man. Give me something to work with. And then this offense, I mean, everybody's saying they can go 10-2. I look at their roster now. I look at Texas. That's the first game of the season. I also look at Grambling. I know this is going to be an easy win. I'm not worried about that. Texas, I told y'all last week, Texas will beat Ohio State that first game of the year. Grambling, I'm not worried about that. Ohio, I'm definitely not worried about that. The bye week, they start Big Ten play with Washington, Minnesota. They'll breeze through this. Illinois had a great season last year. They'll breeze through that. Wisconsin, I don't think Wisconsin's going to be that great. Another bye week, they got Penn State. Penn State comes to your house now. Everyone's saying that could be a loss. I don't think that's going to be a loss. I do think that's going to be a win. I think Penn State. I think that Ohio State is going to win this game closely. If we're talking about November, or we're talking about November, a first or November game. Purdue, they got that. UCLA, we'll see. Even though that's a home game for Ohio State. Rutgers, that's a win there. And then you got Michigan at their place. Again, you have to win. So basically, it could be a 3-loss team, maybe a 4-loss team. If you look at this, if you look at the bottom version of the Big Ten, this is only a 2-loss team. I do think they'll lose to Texas. Is it going to be Michigan or Penn State for me? I'm not saying they're going to lose to Michigan. I want to see how that quarterback Bryce Underwood, which we'll talk about next week as we preview the college football season. I do want to see. I do think that I want to see how Bryce Underwood performs this season, and it gives me and will tell me a lot. If Michigan's better than Ohio State, I don't think Michigan's better than Ohio State. I think Ohio State's better than them on paper. Even though you lose some guys to the NFL draft, I do think Ohio State wins 10 games. You can easily say 11-1. You can easily say undefeated. But I do think that Texas game is Texas is win. I think it's their win. But I don't think Texas wins that game in a blowout. I think Texas wins this game closely. I know majority of Ohio State's games. I know the bottom pack of their Big Ten. You got Wisconsin, Washington. I think those are going to be games of blowouts for Ohio State. And so to me, I think the defense will be good. The offense will be greater. I think it will be better. I think offense will be better. I think this quarterback Julian Song, I like it. I like his arm. Jeremiah Smith is the next best wide receiver. I'm glad he stayed. I think Ohio State repeats as Big Ten champs, and so we'll see what happens with that. Again, I'm choosing them to win 10 games. And then my last and final thing, I'll get to Alabama next week and Michigan next week and also SMU as well. I look at UCLA. UCLA had a drama-filled season. Can we say it was drama? It was dramatic. It was literally dramatic. Because their quarterback transferred, and then Nico Umenaleva transferred in. Again, he was choosing between Tennessee and other colleges as well. I got that news when I was in the and it was out in the steamer when Nico went to UCLA. I was in the steamer one night. I got that news, and I'm like, Nico, I have questions for him. Nico, you realize that the money will come once you perform better. You left Tennessee due to money concerns, not the play. You left Minnesota. You left Tennessee because of money concerns. They couldn't give you the right contract. Now you're with UCLA, and UCLA expects them to take you to the promised land. And so for me, we look at your schedule, okay? We look at your schedule of, okay, can UCLA win the Big Ten? Can they win the Big Ten? We look at Utah as their first game, UNLV, New Mexico. Let's see. Their games are like awkward because they have like a Friday night game. They got a bye week, and then they got Northwestern to start Big Ten play. Penn State, Michigan State, Maryland, Indiana, a bye week, Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, USC. This game is going to be really tough. I'm glad they got the quarterback for it. UCLA won 5 games last year. I do think that Deshaun Foster will do a good job this year. I think this is going to be a 2-game turnaround for him. for Deshaun Foster. I do think that they'll beat Utah that first game. So you could say maybe they go 3-0, maybe 2-1. If they go 2-1, they're in great shape. Let's see. That Northwestern might be a win. You get to the tougher part of the schedule in Penn State and Michigan State, and also if they get to the end of October 500, I think this is a bowl season for UCLA and Nico. I think Nico wins this. I think Nico finds his comfort in UCLA. But then again, does Nico want it? Does Nico want to win? That's the problem. That's the problem I have with these younger guys. Do they want to win? Because the money will come if you win. If you lose, if you're chasing after the money, then then you lose your focus. Don't be like a DJ Ungule who chased the money and went to 3 programs, and now he's nowhere to be found. And so Nico has NFL talent. I just wish that he stays put at one college, and from there he can shine at UCLA. But I'm choosing UCLA to win 7 games this year. I do think that I think the committee gave them an easy schedule to rely on. 6 wins is a stretch. I do think that if they go under that 5-win mark, if they're at 5 wins again, this program will take a step back. Especially when you got one of the best quarterbacks in the game in Nico when he wants to play. When he doesn't, then you'll see what you saw at Tennessee. And so I wish Nico and UCLA nothing but the best. I also wish the other teams nothing but the best this off season, because in the next 2 months the season will start, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody comes back. All right, guys. Next week we're going to preview Alabama, SMU, Michigan, and a bunch of other colleges as well. So we got 6 colleges on tap to preview next week. All right, but for now, let's preview the WNBA Commissioner Cup. We got some teams. That are not only playing tonight. This is going to be 2 weeks filled with Commissioner Cup content. Let's talk about it. Let's recap some of the games from Sunday, and then we'll go from there. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Like, nah, for real, I'm infatuated with you. I just feel like you a natural, like you just got something I like, And I like what I like. I like it when I like it.
Hot girls where I'm from, we don't look like models. 10 lines, big curves, and the energy glows. You'll be falling in love with the girl from Rio. Yeah.
I'm in love with a girl that's from Rio. End up shooting my shot like a free throw. 2 points, can you keep up with me though? I try not to talk, she in love with my lingo. I went took a jet to fly out to Rio to go have some sex. Let's go weigh kilos all over my neck. Need somebody take them off so I can stretch. I need you to help me, baby. Ain't had too much time in my schedule lately. I've been grinding harder like I never made it. All this time invested in my elevation to the top. Got all of the haters wishing I would stop. In love with you, baby. Wait, but maybe not. Like maybe I'm faithful, maybe I'm a thot. I'm in love with a girl that's from Rio.
I got it. It runs in my blood. I love it. You already know. I take my dozen. I'm lucky. You know, it's my love affair. Hot girls where I'm from. I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. It runs in my blood. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. You already know. I take my dozen, I'm looking, I'm looking, I'm looking, you know. It's my love affair. Hot girls where I'm from, we don't look like models. 10 lines, big curves, and the energy glows. You be falling in love with the girl from Rio. Hot girls where I'm from, we don't look like models. 10 lines, big curves, and the energy glows. You be falling in love with the girl from Rio. Hot girls where I'm from, we don't look like models. 10 lines, big curves, and the energy glows. You be falling in love with the girl from Rio. Hot girls where I'm from, we don't look like models. 10 lines, big curves, and the energy glows. You'll be falling in love with the girl from Rio.
Murder on the beach, so it's not nice. I'm on the beach, sand in your feet. She only for me. I just brought special sand to the beach. What do you see? Look that way. I need all your energy. Fuck on the beat all day. And it's water like the sea. Check my status, not in the bragging, but you stepping out with a king. Migo don't know Spanish, but my Migo got them things. Now my diamonds buried white, watch it sing. When I put it in your life, you a fiend. Go little mama, way she feel, got her dressing like Rihanna. She see me dressed in Prada, and then she Prada. She drinking Reposada, like it's water. Good drink, then we gon' light the block up with this new chopper. No man, no. Going back and forth, she got it on her. No man, no more broke, nigga, she scream. No man, go little mama when she see it, she say anaconda. Mama, all night till the morning, we just woke the sun up. No sleep, ain't no sleeping, we stay. Yeah, and we got it poppin' like. Bad bitch with a body like. She bad, no sleep, ain't no sleeping, we stay. Yeah, and we got it poppin' like. Bad bitch with a body like. She bad, Yo, chick poppin' man, dámelo todo, que un poquito no quiero. Si me vas a antojar, ya dame el pedazo entero. Mami, envía el pin, cambió la ruta del vuelo. Pa' que le demos hasta abajo y lo hagamos hasta el suelo. Con sus amigas ella suele practicar. Vive lo que no le gusta inventar. Tanto brillo en el cuello te va a cegar. Ese casino plata yo le voy a sacar. Dime si está para invertir y duplicar. De medallo con los amigos, no andamos haciendo nuevos amigos. Estoy ganando, voy para arriba como Rigo. Ya dejé el oro por la prenda de platino. Yo en el cambio solo que me puse más fino. No sleep, ain't no sleeping, we stay. Yeah, and we got it poppin' like. Bad bitch with a body like. She bad, no sleep, ain't no sleeping, we stay. Yeah, and we got it poppin' like. Bad bitch with a body like. She bad.
I'm the baddest, I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna have it all. I want this one, that one in a week or so. See, I'm a savage, you're gonna have it, I'm gonna hear you go. You're the best, dame más, yeah, papi, I know. Como todo el día, dime qué necesitas. Baby, you know that I got it, sabes que soy Anita. Y yo pongo el culo para arriba, en la mantequilla. Mi cuerpo es tu fiesta, no pares, tú espera. No, you like it when I get low. Yo te como lento, bien slow. How we go, like whoa, she bad.
No sleep, ain't no sleeping, we stay. Yeah, and we got it poppin' like. Bad bitch with a body like. She bad.
Said all I want from you is to see you tomorrow. And every tomorrow, maybe you're letting me borrow your heart. And is it too much to ask for every Sunday? And while we're at it, throwing every other day to start. I know people make promises, they turn right around and break them. And someone cut your heart open with a knife, now you're bleeding. But I could be that guy to heal it over time. And I won't stop until you believe it. 'Cause baby, you're worth it. So don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. 'Cause you might look around and find your dreams come true with me. Spend all your time and your money just to find out that my love was free. So don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. It's not a bad thing to fall in love with me. Now how about I be the last voice you hear tonight, and every other night for the rest of the nights that there are. And every morning I just wanna see you staring back at me, 'cause I know that's a good place to start. I know people make promises all the time, then they turn right around and break them. And someone cut your heart open with a knife, now you're bleeding. Don't you know I could be that guy to heal it over time? And I won't stop until you believe it. 'Cause baby, you're worth it. So don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. 'Cause you might look around and find your dreams come true with me. Spend all your time and your money just to find out that my love was free. So don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. It's not a bad thing to fall in love with me. Not such a bad thing to fall in love. No, I won't fill your mind with broken promises and wasted time. And if you fall, you'll always land right in these arms of mine. Don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. 'Cause you might look around and find your dreams come true with me. Spend all your time and your money just to find out that my love was free. So don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. It's not a bad thing to fall in love with me. Not such a bad thing to fall in love with me.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Game podcast on Official Radio. My name is Jamie. So, we talked about the WNBA, okay? So, excuse me. So, we're back with the league, and we need to talk about the Indiana Fever. Now, you asked me a question about Angel Reese. I will answer that to you when I get to my third one. So this is what I said. So number one, let's start with the Fever. Now the Fever lost. They lost to the Sun on Friday night. You gave the Sun their first victory ever this whole entire season. And the Sun didn't know what to do with it. Aaliyah Boston had 17 points and 8 rebounds, but however, she only played 26 minutes. Majority of that time she was on the bench was foul trouble. And so one of my posts said, why can we help Can we help Aaliyah work on our post defense? because she's picking up fouls and fouls and fouls. And everybody's saying, oh, she's doing great. She's doing fouls. Yeah, you're seeing it on the offensive part. But on defense, the Sun took her out of her element. Did you not see Tina Charles or Olivia Nilsson-Ododa push, get the ball at, nearly almost at the three-point line and had to back there down, and Leah Boston couldn't catch up. They couldn't catch up. As a matter of fact, one of those fouls were taken away because they challenged it when Ododa's arms were mixed up with Boston's, and they challenged it because Leah Boston picked up her 5th foul. I think it was like in the late third quarter. The Fever challenged it. They won the challenge. So again, 4 fouls. She got her 5th foul with 9 minutes left in the game. But the Fever did make a run. They led for 30 seconds, and the Sun took over from there. And now the end of the Fever are 2-4. Was tonight looking like, okay, they're playing against the Misses again. The Misses beat them last week. And so we have some injuries now. Obviously Caitlin Clark is not playing. She has a strained quad. I'm not a doctor or anything. I think Caitlin can still play. I think honestly it's just a strain. If this was the playoffs today, I think she'll be on the court. Sydney Colson's not playing tonight. Neither is Sophie Cunningham. This is why they got Ariel McDonald as of yesterday. You got to add a player to solidify a spot, or else you're playing with 9 players tonight, and then you got to add more depth on the guard. They needed another guard in the team, so they got Ariel McDonald. They could have gone for anybody else. Somebody that got drafted could have got a roster spot. But considering where Indiana is right now, you go with the more experienced vet, and Ariel McDonald is an experienced vet. And so in this Commissioner Cup, here's some 5 things you got to work on. So number 1, you got to stop mentioning Caitlin Clark's injury. Just stop. All the broadcasts, they kept mentioning the injury of Caitlin Clark. Stop it. Number 2, you got it. More coaches. Or did I put more coaches? More coaches need to be involved. Brianna January, Karima Christmas, ladies like that need to be more involved. Number 3, Boston needs to stay in the game. Boston has struggled with her post defense. She needs to stay in the game. That's the only offensive weapon that the Indiana Fever have right now. Play defense in the first half. This team had 43 points at halftime. It's not a lot of points for the Sun, but you gave a team that was struggling on defense a chance, and you gave them their victory too. Now, the Mystics are no joke. We're going to know more about them tonight. And that is not an ESPN game either. And so I'm very surprised by the Mystics. I do think that the Mystics could surprise a lot of people. Again, tonight they got the Mystics, they got the Sky, that's a big matchup tonight. I'm sorry, not tonight. Saturday, because the thing about Caitlin versus Angel, even though Caitlin may not play. Caitlin has missed 2 games already or 3 games already? Yeah, she's missed 3 games already. And so she's not going to play this game. I hope not. She could, but she's not going to. And that's the Sky on Saturday. The Dream next Tuesday. Then they got the Liberty again next Saturday. And then they got the Sun to close out the Commissioner Cup play. So you look at the next 5, the Mystics, the Sky, the Dream, the Liberty, and the Sun. They already played the Dream twice. They're tied 1-1 with the Dream. They already played the Sun. They already played the Liberty. They're down 1. They're down 1-0. They're down 1 with the Liberty and the Sun, but they're up against the Sky. So if Caitlin does not play that game against the Sky, does that give Chicago the victory? Remember, Chicago is coming off on home game that they've won. Chicago's coming off some much-needed wins against Dallas. So we'll see what type of team this is going to be in the next few days. So if they go 0-5, which is that's not entirely possible, they could win tonight. And we'll see the next 4 after tonight. But I don't see them going 0-5. You know, it'll take a lot. So you're telling me they'll go 2-9, and then all of a sudden everything's going to come crashing down. They need Caitlin Clark back. You know, this is a long season in the WNBA. You gotta have players healthy, and so we'll see where that goes. Number 2, the Dallas Wings. My goodness, they are struggling. I looked at the press conference the other day. They were playing against the Sky. It just wasn't the same atmosphere from last year. It's just disappointing. It's disappointing because you look at a team that everybody says they can compete with the Aces, they can compete with the Liberty. I thought they can compete with the Dream. I thought this team would be a little bit better, but this team's terrible, man. They're 1-6 right now. They lost to the Sky twice. You know, Enrique had 37, and then she turns around and scores only 15 points. So the Sky did adjust a little bit. The offense is there, the defense is not. You know, when you score 83 and 92 points, the offense is there, the defense is not there, nowhere near existent. This is what we got to improve this week and throughout the Commissioner Cup. Enrique's got to stay consistent. 15 points, 5 for 16 from the field on Saturday is not good enough. Does Maddie get another start? So Maddie was inserted into the starting lineup on Saturday. It kind of worked, but it didn't because the Sky were scoring a bunch of points against us. Kalia Charles continues to provide, can produce. You know, I know this team is missing Paige Beckers right now, but Kalia Charles will be, you know, I'm not sure where she fits on this team as far as starting lineup goes, but I'm looking at that player now. I'm looking at her, and I said, you know what? She could be good on somebody else's team. And I'm not saying that she's going to be released. What I'm saying is we got to keep her around for a very long time. Being physical on defense. You got to be physical on defense. And then the final one, you got to finish plays. I noticed Dejanay Carrington's body language when the question, I can't remember what question was asked. I wish I had the audio for it because I saw it online yesterday. It felt like they weren't connected. It felt like the player and coach wasn't connected. It didn't feel like last year when I was in there. The team was like laughing when they were like losing a bunch of games. And so I'm looking at, I don't even have to be in the room to look to understand the feeling of what the players are feeling right now. And it's just ridiculous how you're not seeing that. The GM is not seeing that. It's embarrassing to watch. And I don't want to be wrong. But it honestly, I don't even know where to go. I don't even know if we're going to ever win this year. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a one-and-done coach. We just got to see what happens, man. The Storm, they play the Storm tonight. That's an ESPN game, late ESPN game. They got the Sparks Friday night, and then they got the Lynx Sunday afternoon. Mercury next, I think that's next Wednesday. And then they got the Aces next Friday. So that's the Commissioner Cup play. I'm hoping to be at the game on June 17th when they play. I can't remember the opponent, but the Valkyries. So I'm hoping to be there against the Valkyries, where I think I should be there. But it's getting bad. It's getting bad by the day. It's getting bad by the offense. I don't like where the team is at right now. It's just getting overall bad. So and they'll say, well, it's early, but it's not. But when you're 1-6, it's like it's panic mode because most teams like the Link and the Aces and the Liberty, they have figured it out, especially the Dream as well. The Sky has figured it out, which number 3, the Sky are winning. They won back-to-back games. They're making adjustments on the fly. Tyler Marsh has finally understood what works. The offense goes through Reese, Cardoso, and Atkins. Right now, it goes through that. And so it goes through that. How do you get Nurse and Rachel Beckham going? Both are three-point shooters. Both are veteran three-point shooters. How do you get them going? Do you realize that if those two found the pace that worked for them, this team could be top 5. Play a little defense, get a little offense in Angel Reese. Oh my gosh, Angel Reese can finish for days. And I'm like, okay. And she's the best, and I'm telling you, I'm going to protect her to a T. And here's what I wrote last week. This is off ChatGPT. I will be the biggest protector of Angel Reese all season long against any criticism that steps out of bounds. She deserves that grace as a young player, as a young star finding her way. But when it comes to tonight's game, I have to be honest. I'm disappointed with her in her performance. This was the game against I can't remember the opponent. Why am I drawing a blank? I can't remember the opponent. She had 2 points and 12 rebounds, 0-8 shooting in 27 minutes. Much of that show came from that was the Liberty. The Liberty, that was a Thursday night Liberty game. The Liberty packed the paint, Derek Cardoso to beat them, and that was Cardoso. So I expect Angel Reese to work with Lisa Leslie, possibly Courtney Paris, not necessarily Courtney Paris, because I compare Courtney Paris' game to Angel Reese. Angel Reese is better than Courtney Paris, guys, in her playing days. If you go look at YouTube Courtney Paris' game at Oklahoma, and look how look how her game was. Angel Reese does not have that same game. Angel Reese is better. It's just that she's not Caitlin Clark. Both are different positions. Caitlin makes her shots. Angel is starting to get there. But again, teams are packing the paint. Do you realize that Angel Reese is an all-star? Angel Reese can improve. Give her time to do that. Speaking of that, Angel needs to stop rushing. Okay? Cardoso, can she keep the play up? Cardoso had 23 points and 13 rebounds against the Wings on Thursday. Can she keep that quality play up? The minutes will increase when Cardoso continues to play. Coach Tyler Marsh has adjusted. He's adjusted well. The offense has to be collective new units. That means Kia Nurse, Rachel Beckham. You can add Courtney Vandersloot. Courtney Vandersloot has started to pick up her offense a little bit. Actually became the all-time leading scorer for the Chicago Sky, which I think is going to be overtaken by Angel Reese if Angel Reese finds that, balance of what works. And then you got to say eye on Price. I do think, again, if you get Kia Nurse and Rachel Beckham going again, I do think this is the best team, one of the best teams in the league, top 5. The Chicago Sky could go on a run here. We just got to see what happens. Number 4, the Atlanta Dream are being physical. The Atlanta Dream have been the surprise to everyone. At 5-2, they beat the Storm 94-87. Ryan Howard had 33 points and 6 rebounds and 5 assists that game. Alicia Gray had 28 points. They played perimeter defense well. You saw how they shut down Caitlin Clark that first game. Should Kara Samoka be an early favorite of Coach of the Year? Should he be in that conversation as being the Coach of the Year? Pop versus Haley Jones. Let's talk about that for a second. Haley Jones was surprisingly released 3 weeks ago. I was very surprised. I was like, okay, Haley Jones may fit, may not fit. Here's what's happening. Pop can shoot the three. Pop has a little point guard game in her. I think that's what they wanted. I think they wanted a combination guard. Tahi Papa is a combination guard. She can shoot three. She can handle the ball. Haley Jones can handle the ball but can't shoot. And so that's where it is right now. It's not no disrespect to Haley Jones. I think Haley Jones needs to find another team that fits her best, the Golden State Valkyries. But Tahi Pop, they went with this route. It is a great route, and honestly, it makes sense because you need a combination guard that can shoot, that can play a little defense, but also can handle the ball as well. And that's what Atlanta has. Atlanta has a complete team. The weakness on their team is their health. We're hoping that none of their players go down. Alicia Gray has finally found her balance. Finally has found what offensive flow works. Because when you went with Tanisha Wright last year, Tanisha had her in different places. Now Alicia Gray is second fiddle to Ryan Howard. So Ryan Howard can now, see the floor. Ryan Howard can go one-on-one. Alicia Gray can be there when her number is called again. Alicia Gray can play on the weak side of the court and go against what's her man or what's her lady for that matter, one-on-one to the basket or mixes up a little bit. You got to find that comfort zone with Alicia Gray because, again, this team can compete with the Lynx and the Liberty. More so the Lynx than the Liberty. And so here's the commissioner things that I want them to work on. So you got to be the team that you're supposed to be. Yes. Howard has help now. You got help all around. You got help from the bench to Brittany Griner to Brianna Jones to Shatari Kimball Walker, out of all people. You got to make teams play your pace. Teams don't want to play the Atlanta Dreams pace. They're a good half-court offensive team. They don't run the court like most teams do, but they're a good half-court offensive team. Griner needs to continue to be healthy. I think this has been the best Griner has ever looked. Keep the focus up. So, like I said, they can compete with the Liberty and the Lynx. The next games, they don't have a game till Friday. That's Connecticut Sun, the Fever, which they have their number. Caitlin Clark could come back that game. I'm not so sure. It'll be that 2-week mark that she's been out. But we'll see. I'm not a doctor or anything. And then they got the Sky on the 13th. And then they got the Mystics and they got the Liberty to close out the commissioner play. So let's see where this team goes. Again, you could say a 5-game winning streak. You could say maybe, all of these teams, outside the Liberty are except for the Sky, maybe, that there's a couple of losses there. But then again, I like where the Dream are right now. 5-2, you got one of the best guards in the league in Ryan Howard. You got Alicia Gray playing uphill, Brittany Griner getting back to her ultimate strengths. You got a complete team. Now, my last final point, number 5, is the Storm. Now, we need to play a clip from Drew Lloyd. This is when you know a player is not invested in you. So let's play Drew Lloyd, please.
Just get me out. I will find a way to make it physically, mentally, emotionally cannot be worse. Like
Yeah, no chance.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I will put my life savings on this. It can't be worse. So she's like, okay. And I, told her certain teams, and I'm like, I don't like whatever works out. And I have the contract and timing, and the CBA's next coming up. Like, I don't know all these things. I'm like, I trust you. Like,
So you heard from Drew Lloyd. Anytime you hear a player that says, I want out from the Storm or from any other team, you got to believe them. But the Storm are improving. Even though they're 500, those two crucial losses to the Dream and the Aces is just they have a good offense. It's just the turnovers. Turnovers are not great. And Dominique Mononga is a good player, 19 years old. At 19 years old, she can be a complete beast. She can be one of the best players in the league. Now we look at, again, the turnovers are the weakness. 19 turnovers against the Aces is not going to get it done. Nicole Quinn, this has to be urgency season. You have to prove people wrong. When your former player says, I want out of a team, this is a good player. Drew Lloyd's a great player saying this. When she wants out, you got to believe her. You got to give her a wish, which the Storm did. And you had to go by your agent to do that. And so now we get to this, and they got to rely on Malonga, on Erica Wheeler. I think Erica Wheeler has been the best she's ever looked. Erica Wheeler wanted a different role. And she's not playing the role of second fiddle to Christy Size like she did last year. Her role is larger than last year. And so her role is going to continue to increase as the season goes on. Nicole Quinn is going to have that pressure on her back all season long to perform, to coach better than she is right now. Because right now, her coaching is in the middle. So here are some things. Malonga, should she get more minutes? Okay. And then where does Lee Young-Roo fit in the rotation? Now, Lee Young-Roo is the guard from the Sparks, the center from the Sparks. She's looked great so far, but she only played 4 minutes. I was wondering if they went with more Malonga than Lee in that game. I think they went with more Malonga in that game. They got to cut down the turnovers. And then they got to give NECA more shots in June. NECA needs more shots in June. I think if she gets more attempts and more involved in the offense, the Storm will win more games. Coach Quinn, she should be off the hot seat. This is her month to shine. The pressure is on you to come forward. You have to coach a little bit better than you have been right now. You have the team. You have the players. Make some adjustments. Fix them. And then let's see what happens. But then they got Minnesota tonight. Then they got, am I right? Yeah. No, they got the Storm. Sorry, they got the Wings tonight. And then they got the it's just a cloud schedule. But anyways, they got 5 games on the schedule in the next few days. So I want them to have ultra focus and let Nicole Quinn work her magic. Minnesota and the Liberty are both 7-0. Both are the ultimate favorites to win their cup, to win their commissioner games. Minnesota and the Liberty have done that. Minnesota's strengths, they can play with every pace possible. However, the weakness is lack of focus. In the first half, they were unfocused. Cheryl Reeves turned that switch on, and you saw a different Lynx team in the second half against the Valkyries. The Liberty has scored 90 points in 5 of their 7 games. So this team knows how to score points. You can't stop them. They know how to score. put up 100 against the worst team in the league, it's no joke. I guess I don't think they have a weakness. I think their turnovers and depth. I mean, I want more from the bench. I want to see what the bench can provide. I wouldn't mind seeing that matchup again in the Commissioner Cup final, the Minnesota and Liberty. Let's see who comes up on top. I know that they won't play each other for a while, so I'm interested to see what will transpire between the Liberty and the Lynx in the next week or two. Let's see what happens with the Dream. Let's see what happens with the Storm. Let's see if the Wings can get out of this slump they're in. Because right now, it's not going to look good. So, we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Next week, let's preview 6 more teams in college football. And then let's recap these games from the Commissioner Cup. Let's recap some of the biggest storylines from that. And then also, let's recap the first 2 games of the NBA Finals, the Pacers and the Thunder. And then let's preview Game 3. All right, guys. Thank you for listening and watching my podcast. Make sure you subscribe your podcast. Make sure you subscribe your podcast wherever you get your podcast at. And I'll see y'all next week. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.